Oh, so good evening, everybody. How are we all? Now, this week I managed to start the show with a little pause without actually having my mute button off. So you couldn't actually hear anything I was saying. Thankfully, last week I didn't say anything. Now I noticed that we seem to be hitting a record of people waiting pre-show. Um, I've only got one conclusion that you missed some guy so much last week that more of you have come in today just to see his return. So here is that fantastic man I introduced to you, Horlicks.
Hello, everyone.
So
I'm
how was
back.
your holiday?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. So it's sad to be back. I think another few days would have been nice, but yeah,
But don't you think they make the best holidays? If you just
yeah,
felt you could have done with a few more days, it was a good holiday.
yeah, definitely. No, we had a good. Oh yeah, we had a really good week. Apart from my last day, where I had a bit of a mishap. In, with a quad and a cliff, and I was very scared. But I'm okay. You're lucky. I'm
You
here.
you know you're going to have to share that story with us at some time. Now you brought it up.
Yeah, maybe after the build.
Oh, okay. So, would you like to build then?
Yeah, shall we?
Okay. So, let me
I had
just change my camera
delivery on
angles.
Saturday. No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't. Tuesday, I got 11, 12, 13, and 14. So,
So you're happy, and I
yeah, I'm good.
think did I see a video of yours pop up on YouTube today,
Yes, that's
this
one I
morning?
filmed yesterday. And that
Fantastic.
was a bit of a hoo-ha because I think I was still in sort of holiday mode, and I must admit, my camera kept messing around, and I had to refilm it about 3 times.
All right.
So I've probably got some loose screws because I had to keep undoing stuff.
Oh God. Mind you get days like that though, don't you?
Yeah.
So everyone's welcoming you back. As you can see,
Hello,
they all
everyone.
missed you.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Teddy. Hello, Stuart.
And I've got to
Alan.
confess, I mean, Dave Say was brilliant, but I did miss you so much, and I'm still actually Teddy Connors took the words right out of my mouth. Where's my postcard, Horlicks?
Oh, do you know what? I don't send any postcards. I was enjoying myself too much anyway.
That's
Sorry.
fair enough. At least you were enjoying yourself, right? So this week, I want to have a look at this. I think this might have come out upside down. I don't know what's going on, but I'm just because we've got a delay. I just want to wait until this pops up. Yeah, it's all upside down. So what something wrong has happened. I know what's happened. I was playing around with my cameras last week, and I think what I've done. Yeah, okay. I'm really sorry, guys. Like I say, I was trying to work out the camera for the I was trying to set the DSLR up, and I wasn't actually able to do it. And then I put the webcam on, and then I've obviously put the webcam round the wrong way. So we'll see if that works. That looks much better, doesn't it? So, right, so this week we're going to be doing the floor of the driver's cab and the handbrake. Now, obviously, before today, all we had to go on was this picture, which I can't find. There it is. It didn't really tell us an awful lot. It just told us Um, really, it wasn't even any information. It was just a taster. Um, and well, we'll go through the parts when we unbox it. But I think we've got some. Um, so I think we've got some good news. Obviously, there were a few concerns floating around Facebook during the week, and I think there's quite a few solutions. So, shall we go through the parts then?
Yeah, lovely.
Okay, okay. So I'll just get the old knife out, and I'll give you I'll give these a cut. So this is the part list that we have today, and then what I'll do is I've got my parts out now, so we'll go through them,
Okay,
and
so
there's a few
there is a few, yeah. Some small bits, isn't there?
small bits and large bits.
Okay, so
Okay.
35A is a driver's cab floor.
Okie dokie. And this is uh, uh, stuck in there. That's not coming out. Right. It's a solid metal part that's been painted brown. And you see, that's looking pretty
Brilliant.
good. Do you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to have to fiddle with the camera. I think what I've done is yeah, that's better. I thought it seemed rather close. I think I must have done a zoom at some point on an earlier stream. So what I'm noticing about this is, look at all these screw holes. There are thousands of them. So I think over the coming weeks, we're going to have an awful lot to do with this. So I
Definitely.
think this week and next week isn't going to be the end of this. But it's a nice solid part. The paintwork seems to be quite good. What I'm actually looking for, I'm being really fussy here. Some of the metal parts that we've had in the past, you can see like where a machine has held it. And then it's obviously missed a part of the paintwork. And the machine always seems to hold it in a part that won't be seen. But I mean, look, being really, really fussy, there's a little bit there. But on the whole, that's a really good paint job. Really happy with that. So, yeah, sorry. This has turned into the admiring paint show.
No, that's good
Uh,
because I thought that was plastic when I first saw that in your hand.
I did. I mean, all I really saw was this and a couple of screws and a handbrake, because obviously it had been folded under in the packet. So I didn't see all the little fiddly bits. So, in fact, I'll put that back into there. So, what's the next part then, Horlicks?
Okay, 35B is a driver's cab left wall.
Okay. So this is the wall. Now this is plastic, but it looks like it's got the exact same paint as the floor. It looks a good colour match. And some of you a little bit more keen may have noticed this wording. So we've got to stop engine, pull knob and leave out, push back knob before starting. And then on the other side, to stop engine in emergency, turn off fuel tap under bonnet. And that's nice. I like that. So next part.
Okay, so 35C is a handbrake.
Okay, and this is the handbrake, and it is made of plastic, but it looks okay. Now I know that one of the concerns raised was it by you, Dave Milne, about the colour of the handbrake, and this looks like it's really nice, solid detail. So if you didn't like it like this, I couldn't see a problem with painting it. And in fact, actually, could you just get us a close up of that picture in the middle of the description there, where it says the handbrake is positioned on the near side of the driver's cab, and you can see there that even though it's a black and white picture, you've got the part down the middle is, I'm guessing, black, and the rest of it looks like silver. So if you wanted to repaint that, there's a little guide for you. Because I'm doing mine straight out of the magazine, I'm leaving mine as it is. But obviously, when I do my green bus, I may be modifying it. Okay. And
Okay,
Love Minis has just said you can paint it. Um, but yeah. So sorry, Teddy Connor said that he loves the way that they've added the wording. Unlike some models, you have to buy decals separately. Okay, so shall we go through the small fiddly parts?
yeah, okay, so 35D is a dip switch.
Okay, and this I'm quite excited about because especially as I've just started to enter the world of electronics, and this is just basically a switch.
That is
And
interesting. So, do you
well,
think, speculation, we're going to have to solder that, or is it
I
connectors on it?
don't think so, and the reason I don't think so is because there are four connections, which excuse me one sec, guys, sorry. Oh, I do apologise. I had a bit of a cough there. So let's get the tweezers out, and then I can just control the part easier. Right, now my very limited knowledge of electronics, that looks like a normal on-off switch. And you have the switch there, and In fact, it's not an on-off switch. It's a push-on, release, let go. Um, so what exactly that will control, I don't know, but I would guess it's lighting or engine noises. But I've not looked, although I've scanned the pages, I've not actually looked at the instructions. So this is something that we can speculate with as we go. Um, oh, Love Mini says no, it will clip into something. So
Yeah.
there'll be some housing then with some wires, and then this will push into it, or the housing will push onto the switch.
I mean, the only
So
reason I was asking is because obviously I know, I mean, I can solder and I know a lot of other people can solder, but there must be a majority of people that perhaps haven't soldered before and it might be a bit daunting for them. So,
yeah, I mean, I've started soldering, and there's a couple of people who are watching the show right now that will tell me, will be able to back me up and say it really isn't as easy as it looks. I watched a hell of a lot of YouTube videos before I'd soldered, and I got myself to the stage where I was confident enough to give it a go. And I still made a bit of a pig's ear of it. And this magazine is billed as easy build. So I wouldn't be comfortable. Um, I, I would be comfortable soldering, but I think that there could be a lot of potential danger if people did solder.
mm,
Um, so just see if anyone says anything regarding this. Fire Sweep says he thinks it says it's a dimmer switch. All we've got at the moment is the word dip switch, but obviously as the build evolves, we'll find out more about it. Love Mini says soldering takes practice, which is absolutely true. You know, the soldering that I did, it worked, but it's not pretty.
mm.
And if I was soldering around plastic parts, I probably would have made a hash. If this was my first soldering job, I don't think I'd be able to do it. So what's the next part then?
Okay, so 35E support bracket.
Okay, this is a little plastic black bracket that supports something, is my guess. Don't know where I got that clue from.
Okay, 35F is an engine stop switch.
Okay, and there is the switch, and it looks like an engine stop switch to me of some description. Actually, it looks a little bit the same sort of shape as the handbrake, which I hate. I hate bus handbrakes. You'll never see me with nice long nails because bus handbrakes destroy nails. So there you go. That's the stop switch.
Okay,
And
and then two lots of screws, MM and CM.
okay, now these ones it says MM, but that doesn't mean they're sweets. They're not. They're not for eating. And the second ones are the CMs. So while I prepare my screws, I will ask Horlicks to describe the first part of the build.
Okie doke. So, step one, take the driver's cab floor, 35A, and the driver's cab left wall, 35B, with the parts orientated as shown in the diagram. Align the two large screw holes on the lower edge of part 35B, with the
Okey
holes
doke.
in the lip of part 35A, as indicated by the dotted lines. Uh, the locating pegs on part 35B should fit into the corresponding sockets on part 35A, and then fix that into place with two screws. And it says the screws are easier to access and tighten if you use a screwdriver with a long shaft.
So it may well be that our Routemasters screwdriver could be the screwdriver to help us bet most, but we'll see how we get on. We refuse to believe that there's a better screwdriver than our Aurea, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
So I seem to not be on autofocus. So I'm going to give the autofocus a go. I know I say that every week. So we have here the driver's cab floor, and then we have the driver's cab left wall. Now, the orientation, we have a raised part there, and we have a keyhole with a little bit going up, and that's going to be on my right. And then the floor. Now, obviously, it's going to be decal side in, but another way to look at it is there's a little slope at the front, and obviously it's not going to be that way or that way.
Also, looking
But
at the picture in step one, have you noticed something that I have?
no.
They've already fitted that switch.
Oh yes, yeah.
But that's yeah, that's not here nor there. Just something I
Let's just
observed.
quickly show that. How close up can you get on that switch? That's quite interesting, isn't it? That is.
There.
I reckon what they've done is they've built this, then taken it apart, and then done the these are basically I'm trying to I can't get my words out. I think they've built it, then they've taken it apart, and then they've written the design notes for it, and they forgot to take that part out. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So
Just a bit
yeah,
of
we'll call that a
observation.
mistake if we want, but that's given me time to look at this. Now I was a little bit confused because you see along the wall there's 5 holes, but there's only 2 screw holes. What you've actually got on this side, you've got 2 little plastic locating pegs, and they are plastic. And what's going to happen is, I think they're going to go in like so, and this is not going to be an easy fit. It's actually difficult to get them in. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. Ah, there we go. That might be it. This is actually not a good fit, because this little part is actually in the way. So let me just go forward. I want to see if there's any clues. Now, it looks in the magazine that this part here is actually flush, so that you're ultimately looking at putting a screw through that hole there. Because I wondered if maybe it was up a bit. So your 2 screw holes are going to be there and there, and the locating pegs are aiming for there and there. And that's where our problem is, because this part there is actually in the way. I think that this is going to be a snap fit, but I don't want to force it. So the locating pegs on parts 35B should fit into the corresponding sockets. Well, I'm afraid they don't. It's a little tight fit. Has anybody already done this? I think I might have to resort to my driving glasses. Make sure they do actually fit. Yeah, they do actually fit through, so the locating pegs aren't too big. And okay, there's got to be an easy way to do this. Oh dear. Why am I stuck? Oh, right, that bit's now gone in. Ah, brilliant. Okay, so, right. It's a little bit, yeah. I've just noticed Fighter Sweep's comment as I did that. It just needs a little bit of a jiggling. So, if we come in at an angle like this, and we're lining up the screw holes. Okay, in fact, actually, now it's gone in really easy now. And then what we're going to do is, yeah, I've obviously, like, I don't know what I've done, but it now just goes in by itself. But it involved a little bit of jiggling, but I didn't need to force it, but I just jiggled it. So I don't really know what else to say about that because, like I say, I can't recreate what I've just done. Having said that, yeah. So I think you might want to come in like that and just like Fighter Sweep said, just jiggle it a bit, and it'll go in. You got to find it. Oh, I see what I've done. Yeah. Okay. Whatever I've done, I've actually just snapped the locating pegs off. So, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be an area that shows. That would explain why it goes in perfect. Having said that, there is enough locating peg there to keep it in. So, I'm not going to panic, guys. The reason my angle of approach is better is because I've broken it. So, because it's an screw, I'm carefully placing some washing up liquid there. Keep my holes lined up. And 1 screw. It's a shame that I've not done this absolutely perfect, but I think that's going to be fine. Right, so, well, I don't see a problem with the screwdriver. That's going in just at the right angle. So that's going in just enough so that it bites. And then second one.
Yeah, and as Chris said, you could always extend it as well. It's got that
Yeah,
feature, isn't it?
it has. I've not actually needed it, but it's
No,
great that it's there. And
yeah.
be careful, guys, because obviously we've got paintwork here. If that should slip off the that should slip off the end of the screw, we could scratch the paintwork. So be careful here. It's a little bit stiff. So nice slow turns. And if you're using this screwdriver, come in at a slight angle because you can actually touch the base with it. All of these are metal parts. So try not to scrape it on the floor. I've got a feeling that that part will be covered by the seat because that looks like a seat post to me. But we will know if it's scratched, won't we? So we will never be 100% happy if we see a scratch. Okay, so these screws are going in a long way. Oh, there we go. There we go. There is requiring quite a lot of turns. There we go. So, doesn't seem to be flush there. And I don't know if that's going to cause a problem later. I certainly hope not. But that is in really tight. Look, that's not moving. So I'm happy for now at that. I don't know if that's correct. If there's anyone who's built what number screwdriver, I'm using the J1, which may actually be too big. But yeah, sorry, yeah, extend the screwdriver. Yeah, actually, that would have been a better idea because that would keep it off the ground, off the floor a little bit more. So yeah, maybe that would have been a better idea. Okay, so are we all happy with that stage?
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay, Mark Valentine has said it won't be flush as there was an angled bush there. That's fine then. I'm happy with that then. I mean, this part isn't going to be shown because you're going to have body work there, and this is the inside of the cab. But obviously, when I see things that aren't 100% flush, I'm like, have I done it right? Have I done it wrong? So far, I think I've done it 100% correct. But you know, how far can I push my luck on this?
Our fight sweep said that's exactly how their parts fit together with a gap at the bottom.
Brilliant. No, that's fantastic then. This is why I love doing a group video like this so that we can all share our thoughts. Okay, so let's.
Okay,
Sorry,
step 2.
so stage 2.
Okay, so turn the floor and wall assembly so that you can see the underside, and take the part 35D, which is the dim switch, and fit it into the square socket onto the underside of the floor. It will be fixed in place in step 3.
Right, so this is another one of those ones where sometimes we try to jump ahead of ourselves by fitting something or attaching it, but what all it does say is just pop it in. So, okay, so right. So this is the correct orientation. I know that because if you look at the magazine, you've got 2 screw holes there, a hole there, a hole there, and a hole there, and there is no hole there. Okay. Right, I don't know where the dots on there came from. But anyway, there's 2 pegs there, or 2 pegs there and a hole there, and there's too much going on there for that to be the front, which that means that this can only go there. Now, is there a right and a wrong way for this, do you think? You see how trying to get this so we can focus in. Right, do you see where there's some electrical contacts? Does it go that way or does it go that way? Let's give it a try first. It may not actually fit the other way. So that's one way in. And I'm guessing the electrical contacts will go across. I'm calling them electrical contacts, but it will actually go either way. But it looks a little bit more comfortable if you put them across. Let's have a look, see what that looks like from the top. It's a little bit fiddly. That's nice. I like that. Looks a little bit like the picture in stage 1.
Yeah.
Hello, 32 Soul. How are you? So, Love Mini Soul, you've put no. Is that no? It doesn't make a difference. I'm just going to try and have a closer look at the magazine. I can't see the electrical contacts on the actual magazine. So look, for now, I'm going to assume I'm going to put the contacts across.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do personally. It just seems to
Yeah,
look better.
yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm going to be a little bit anal and I'm going to turn it 180 degrees. And then that way, the writing is the correct way up from the way I'm looking at it. And now I can't get this. There we are. So now the writing's the correct way up. But that's just me being silly. Oh, Teddy's saying it may be just a dummy switch. I don't know because there are metal contacts and they have actually called it a dip switch. I think I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say that if you press that, the headlights will go brighter. I don't think that that's what it actually does on the real bus, but I think that's what it's going to do on the model. That's just me going out on a limb. Okay, so that's in. Should we have a look at stage 3?
Yeah, so stage 3, still working on the underside of the floor. Take the support bracket 35E and fit it over the part 35D so that the holes in the part 35E align with the raised screw sockets in part 35A on either side of part 35D, and then fix in place with 2 cm screws.
Okay, sorry guys, I was having a little look before you. Right, okay, you may actually be right now because it might be a. Oh, I don't know. Right. So it looks like if I hold it this way, which is the orientation of the magazine, then we've got this little part here that comes down there. So that seems to go. What you've actually got is you've got a screw hole and a locating pin. And then on the other side, you've just got the one hole. And there you've got 4 holes. But I think this is going to go in on the 3 raised holes. And now it's going to cover that switch completely. Oh, I don't know. Because there's still access to the metal parts. So I really don't know, guys. So anyway, let me just take this off, and then I can pop a little bit of washing up liquid, and I'm going to pop it into this hole there and this hole there, because this one has just got a locating pin. Yeah, I mean, we could attach wires at a later stage. Oh, it could be the brake lights. I like that idea. I think the real answer is wait next week, because it looks like we'll be finishing it off next week.
Yeah, I mean, on speculation, I'm sort of siding with Teddy now. There
It's a
isn't.
dummy switch.
Yeah, there's not much contact on there for anything, and I think it would have got us to fit some sort of wire into that before going to the bother of securing that into place.
But then my train of thought is, why would they bother putting a switch in if it's then not going to do anything? So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't mind being wrong. I just, if I'm wrong on
as I
this,
say,
the
it's
first
all
time.
speculation. We'll know
Yeah,
in the coming weeks, won't we?
yeah, right. So first screw going in, and it's just going in just enough to bite, which then gives us the opportunity to readjust the top part. Be careful, guys, because obviously this part is plastic. If you put too much weight on there, it'll take a fair bit of weight. And try not to scratch it around as well. Oh dear, I've got a bit of a tickly throat today. What are
Mark
you
said it's the
laughing at?
drive the self-destruct button.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I could have done with that this week. Do you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm really sorry. Is there anybody just started sixth form watching the show? Because I really am sorry. I'm about to talk bad about you. It seems to me that ejector seat panel. It seems to me that when you go from the last year of compulsory well, it's all compulsory now, but the last year of main high school, and then you start sixth form, you suddenly know everything. And you suddenly know everything there is to know about driving buses and geography and all sorts. And it gives you the ability to argue with a bus driver, because let's face it, I've only been driving buses 17 years. What the hell do I know? Right, so see that switch is working. I'm convinced it does something. I'm going to say it's going to do something, but I have absolutely no evidence to that. But then we've pretty much covered the connections up. I'd like it to do something, because I can't see the point in giving us a switch that moves for it to do nothing. That just seems completely pointless. And so many times I've said, "Ooh, that's a bit dull," and then after a while, it's like, "Oh, actually, that's really good. I'm glad they've done it that way." Yeah, Chris Campling says probably got to take it off again later. So, but look, we could sit here all day talking about that, and some of us will be wrong, some of us will be right. So, like I say, the answer really is, yeah, let's see next week, says Stuart Sullivan. So, what's the
Okay.
next section? You're ready to
So,
go.
step 4. Oh, we're going to be attaching the handbrake.
Right.
So, take the handbrake and identify the fixing point in the cab floor. Fix the pegs on the lower end of part 35C into the corresponding sockets. This is a push fit connection.
Okay. Right. So this is probably probably the second easiest section that we'll ever do. Where the seat peg, I'm going to call it the seat peg, and you've got the writing on the wall. I'm sure there's a song title there, isn't it? The writing's on the wall. And then down on the floor, there's two pegs, two holes. Now, one hole is slightly bigger than the other, and there you can see one peg is slightly larger than the other. And this handbrake is absolutely amazing. It is old, basic, and now I think that it goes that. No, hang on. Oh, right. Yeah. My bad. Right. Okay. Because I don't normally get to deal with anything as beautiful as this on a daily basis. But this reminds me a little bit of the old railway signal boxes.
Yeah, I was
You've
going to
got your
say,
big.
yeah.
Yeah. So, right, that's struggling to go in fully. And I don't want to force it because it's quite flimsy. And this part here, as you can see, that's really, really loose. So you can see down at the bottom, it doesn't go fully in. So I'm not loving that.
Oh yeah, fighter sweeps that found that he needed to scrape some of the paint off the locating pins.
Right. Shall
It
we
was
do that then?
it
I'd
was
be happy
way
to
too
do
tight.
that. Saying that, it doesn't now want to come out. Let's see if I can use my. I don't know what I've done with my tweezers, but they're not. They've lost their springiness. I don't know what's happened there. These are why I insist on using the worst tweezers in the world. So proper tractor like handbrake, yeah, it's beautiful. It's like the older and more basic it is, the better. But I must admit the newer buses they don't excite me as much. One of the buses I drove at Bristol Airport, I don't know if I've mentioned this. It's even got electric sun visor. I mean, how lazy is that? I mean, I get the electric windows, except that's more to go wrong. And it was actually quite funny because at Bristol Airport, as you go to the staff car park and then you come through security to get into the terminal, you have a security badge and you have to swipe in through the car park and you have to show your badge. Even though the security guard saw your badge 15 minutes ago, he has to take that badge out of your hand and examine it, which means that you are winding your window up and down constantly. And I had a bus where the windows wouldn't wind down. Now, any other company I've worked for, that's a continuing service penny. We'll sort it out another time. For Bristol Airport, this bus is now off the road. From this second on, we'll get you a different bus. So having all these wonderful gadgets is lovely, but there's more to go wrong. And if
Hello,
you want
Izzy.
to, hello Izzy, how are you? It's really nice to see you at last. I know we've seen you a couple of times. Right, I think with this, it's just a case of, actually, I've just realised I've been a little bit daft there. Oh, there we go. That's gone in perfect. So yeah, so it is definitely a case of scraping the paint off, and that I am actually really in love with that.
It looks like the handle you get as well. I don't know if you've been on old-fashioned wooden roller coaster. There's a man that sits on a saddle halfway down the train with a lever like
Yes,
that.
yes. because if there's an emergency, he can put the brake on.
Yeah,
That must be a brilliant job. Your job is to sit on the back of a roller coaster all
yeah.
day.
It looked a bit bouncy.
Mm. So, are we happy with that?
It looks really good.
And it's not, it's loose, but it's not going to come out too much. I suppose if you accidentally scraped a bit too much paint off, you could always Loctite it in. But I've managed to, well, you saw how little paint I was scraping off. So it's, you just keep scraping until you've got just enough off. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so what's the next stage?
Okay, so step 5. Take the engine stop control, 35F, and fit the 2 pegs into the corresponding sockets on the driver's cab left wall, 35B. This is a push fit connection. Note, one of the pegs is larger to ensure you get part 35F in the right way round.
Fantastic. So that's actually a nice touch because looking at this part, if you look at it this way, what is the right and the wrong way? Hang on, let me change the focus. This focus is doing me head in, look. What is the right and the wrong way? If you're not a big, serious bus enthusiast, you probably, there's no way of knowing. But because they've put that, there's not a massive difference in the size, but there is a difference. And then that will make sure it goes the right way. So we have a little look. And do you know what? They both look the same to me. Now, the reason I'm fitting it on the wrong side is because then it's easier to fit. And I've got to be honest with you, they look like they'll fit either way round. So, and there's not really an awful lot of space to work here. So I might have to hold things in awkward positions. Maybe if we'd fitted this bit before the handbrake. Ah, there is a right and a wrong way. There's not much difference. Ah, yeah. So, just I haven't pushed it in hard. I think that's the wrong way round.
It looks like it. Looking at the
Because
picture,
if we look at the finished view,
the
that
knob's
looks the wrong
facing.
way.
Yeah, the knob's more
Yeah.
facing the.
So that's why I didn't push it all the way in.
I say
So,
knob, the engine stop control, not a knob.
yeah. It's right, call it what you like, but don't call it a petrol tank or brakes or an air filter. Right, so again, that one I'm not, but that looks a little bit more like the finished view, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not super impressed with the one hole is bigger than the other affair, because as you can see, it actually fits a little bit more comfortably the wrong way round. I'm struggling here. It's really not. They really, personally, I think you should be doing stage 5 before you do stage 4, because that handbrake is now in the way, and I don't really want to pull that handbrake out because it's so fragile. So my tip for you guys is if you look at the instructions, make sure you read instruction part 5 before you do part 4, and then you can decide for yourself. I can't really get that in, and I'm not really happy with that fit. So I may just do the same and just see now it's in fairly tight. What I'm doing is I'm using a large flat thin object. So Yeah, I can see where the problem is. It's got a little bit of mold line. I think that's what stopped it from going in. Of course, I could use my fabulous mold line remover that I got free with my Warhammer magazine. Sorry, how's that for a shameless plug?
Well, I've tried to use mine, and it's far too small for my
It
hand.
is. It's really bad. I will show you later on, guys, because it's quite hilarious. Um, Obviously, Partworks want to give you as much as they can, but they want to make it as cheap as possible because obviously they still need to make a profit. Oh, there's part of the side wall. Look. No, that's just gone for a fly. Right. So, to be honest with you, fitting this, I'm finding it easier to look at the finished view rather than stage 5. So this wants to go this way. And don't drop it. That's a little bit better. I need a finger that's that wide. There you go. That's not awful, but it's not brilliant. It's just that this handbrake's in the way. See what I nearly took that off, didn't I? Now I got something. Ah, aha. Now I don't want to push with that. I mean, it might even. We might even want to do stage 1 second last. Put this on before we begin stage 1, because then we're just dealing with a flat piece of plastic and then we can push it in, then put the side on, then put the switch in, then put the handbrake. Listen, that's as far as I'm going to go with that because it could be better, but at the same time I could snap it off completely. Fighter Sweep says it'll all be hidden behind the seat, which it probably will, but you'll see this bit more than you'll see the actual, I forget what that is now, the engine stop switch. And that's the bit that we'll pull out, isn't it? Pull out and leave. Okay, so that's our part. And I got a feeling I know what you guys are going to ask for next. Would you like to... Sorry. Right, would you like... Shall we speculate on how that's going to fit on the chassis?
Oh, goody! I like a bit of
Oh,
speculation.
just like the speculate word, don't you? Right, okay. I wasn't gonna. I put the chassis up on the shelf, and I wish I hadn't now. Right. Oh, hernia, hernia. Right. Do you know what, guys? I actually haven't got a clue. I have not got a clue where to start on this. Right. So, right, we know that the cab is going to go on this side. So that's where I'll aim the camera. Have I got this on autofocus? I have now. So, we know that it's going to go this way. Do we know it's going to go? Yes, because the driver's going to come in from this side. So, we're looking for any screw hole. Ah, there we go. I can see it. Right. Screw hole there. Let's see if I can bring this in. Right. So we've got a screw hole there at the back of the wheel arch. We've got one above the wheel, and this is the two screw holes that you're going to have to move the wheel to get to one and then move it the other way to get to the other by the looks of things. And then you've got one there, and that looks suspiciously that shaped. So,
Yeah, I reckon
bingo.
you'll screw them in from the top because they've
Yeah,
got a slight recess.
yeah. And there is oh, that's interesting. It's as it without the screws. Can you see it's not balancing? So that is going to be. Let me. I'm going to have to show off my football top now. That's the only way I'm going to get this angle. And that's what it's roughly going to look like, I think. But I can't see that that's wrong.
No, that looks good.
Just have to be careful with my camera angle now because I'm going to show off my pajamas as well. Sorry, guys, I do apologise. I am a get home from work straight into pajamas kind of person. So yeah, that's yeah. Can we see any different? Now that, do you think that that might be a large hole to pass an LED through or some kind of electrical something? Can't think what would go in there. What do you think? Or maybe it's just an access hole.
I reckon that's where the steering column's going to go through.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Just speculation.
Yeah, yeah. So, shall we have a look at next week and then that might all confirm that then? I can't believe I missed that. Oh, look at this hole. Electrical cable. No, steering wheel. Right. So, I'll come back to you in a moment.
Okay. There we go.
So, yeah, that's pretty much spot on there, isn't it? So, the steering column is going to go down through the floor, through that little keyhole shaped bit, and then it's going to go back, and I'm just going to this one. So it's going to go down there, just trying to get these lined up. We can see, right, just going to go down there, and then it's going to go down at an angle, and it's going to go straight across, and there's a little hole in the steering column. So I think it's going to hook up there, and then trying to find a nice safe way to pick this up. There's not really many places to hold it now, so you can see that that's moving when you turn the wheels. So that is all going to fit in together, isn't it? Oh, Paul, that's really sad to hear that you're losing interest in the build. I suspect your reason would be Hachette rather than the build. I'm hearing a lot of issues with Hachette. They're sending the wrong issues. You know, they're selling out too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I had a letter with my latest delivery saying yesterday or day before. Basically, the reason is that the interest and response to the classic Routemasters has been immensely positive, and as a result, there are significantly more subscribers than we initially anticipated. Basically, due to the response being so high, we have suffered stock shortages on some issues, which has meant that many of you have not received your issues in the correct sequence. Unfortunately, this has been the only option in some instances to ensure that you receive your monthly dispatch of 4 issues as planned.
So, you know, I blame you, Horlicks.
Why?
Because people are seeing you on this show and they're going, wow, that's fantastic. Let's go out and subscribe.
No, but no. Then it says to rectify the situation, they have ordered more magazines and parts to be produced, and they're starting to receive delivery of these now. So they are anticipating that over the next 2 or 3 dispatches, you'll see your subscription go back to normal with no more disruption. So that's the letter I've had. It sounds quite encouraging. So all I can say is, Well,
Yeah,
just
I mean, I know a little bit about business, but not enough to call myself a business person. And if they overproduce the magazine, each magazine is going to have a cost to Hachette, and then obviously they need to sell that at a profit. So they need to sell. See if I can get this. We're still trying to figure out the fancy view. Can you just say something, Horlicks?
hello.
Hey, it's working. Um, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to burp. Then I'm so sorry. Um, Now, obviously, like I'm going to make figures up, but let's say this costs Hachette £2 a unit, and they're selling it for 8.99. We'll call it £9 a unit, so they're making £7. If they bought um, 10 units and only sold one, then it's costing them £10. They're making a 10 to 9 ratio, so they're losing money. So they need to gauge the interest, work out what the now there's going to be a lot of costs involved in making, because like the dyes and things for making these molds, they cost so much money and then so much per unit. So the more they produce and sell, the more profit they make. But they need to sell so many copies before they break even. Now, if they ordered a million and only sold 10,000, obviously they're going to lose money. But then on the other hand, if they order 10,000 and they have a million orders, they've got to try and get those. Now, if these are made in, say, China, which I suspect they are, because that keeps the costs down, you're not going to get them from China to England in a day. And it's probably going to be shipped over rather than flown over. So it's going to take months. And now I did have a little look at the website this morning, and I noticed that issues 1 to 8, I think it is, they're back in stock, but they're low supply. So they've obviously ordered those, and then I suspect issue 9 onwards is on its way. But again, issues 1 to 8, there's been a lot of demand for.
Mm.
So even though they've got new stock, they're running low quickly. And I think that, sorry, were you about to say something?
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Um, Yeah, I mean, right. Ron Cheeky Crouch has just said that he's never had a problem with sending wrong issues. I haven't either. I subscribed fairly early. I subscribed after issue 1 came out, but before issue 2 came out. So I've never really had a problem. You've had problems, Horlicks, but you subscribed from about issue 20,
Yeah,
18, something
I was
like that.
really late anyway, and everything
Yeah,
was going smoothly. And then until I received, was it 20 to 24 or whatever it was, they were still on
yeah.
my shelf here. Um, and
So now
they,
you've got to look at those issues every single day, going, I want to build them. I know what they look like because I've been on the show building them.
yes,
I
but I'd
can't.
rather them be in that package there than being on the floor getting damaged.
True.
Or I mean, they probably sit all right up here now. I've sorted this out, but I don't want them to get ruined. So, but I've caught up now. I got as I mean, I've never had an issue with them. Obviously, I was confused and I rang them. They explained why this was, and the following month, I did receive 9, 10, sorry, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then I was still 4 behind, but they've caught up with that now, and I've just received 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I've still got them sitting here. I haven't built these yet because I'm waiting for some comments on my new build before I carry on with
Okay.
these. So, yeah. And in fact, these are the ones that I remember had issues with the left and the right.
Yes.
Those
Yes. Now,
little, uh, those little
I,
tabs at the bottom.
yeah, I mean, if you want, I can give you a closer look, but it's going to be really hard to see because we built around it. But some people weren't concerned. But what I found was you've got some little plastic parts. I might even have one. Pretty sure I've got one on the shelf because I think one of mine fell off. so I couldn't be bothered putting it back on. I thought I'll put it back on at a later stage. Right, so let me change my camera angle.
I'm just looking at mine to see, because obviously these were out of stock, so they could have actually fixed the problem.
They might have done. Right, what you have here, I think these are called dampers. Now, on one, you've got one goes that way and one goes the other way. And then they're kind of mirrored on issue 13. Now, these do go one way because try to get... Can you see that the hole on the top there, it's beveled? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger on one side. And then you've got this side is a smaller hole. And what you've got...
So the beveled hole goes down, does it?
Yes.
Then they fixed mine. Then they fixed them because my 11 and my 12 and 13, all the larger holes are at the top.
Right. You will probably only know when you build it, because one of these you'll be forced to put it in upside down. Now, the way I rectified it was I was on at Hachette and I said, you really want another issue 12 to fix issue 13. But they may have fixed it. So I'm eagerly awaiting your copies, and then I'm eagerly awaiting South Africans who are going to be coming up to this issue soon. I don't know why I'm holding this up so you can't see it.
Do they go opposite onto the frame? So
let me see if I can find them on my build. Right, it's going to be very difficult. Right. So what we have got, my camera boom thingy is not doing very well here. Right. So, I say it's really hard to see because we've built around it.
Well, I can see it.
Can you see that you've got the tapered end one side, and then on the other side it's a different way. So they taper the angle. It's like a square with one corner cut.
Yeah.
And right, this one there, it's that way. This one there is that way. Obviously, this is upside down, but it's showing you the direction.
Right, hang on a minute. So that way you've just shown, mine would be fine for that. And what? How does the other?
The left-hand side. I can't remember which is issue 12 and which is issue 13, but this is the left-hand side.
Okay, and then how does the other side sit?
The other side goes right on the one that I've just shown you. The back goes like this, that way. On this right-hand side, the back goes that way, which is the opposite way. Now, if you were to take the back of one issue, which is that way, right, and then turn it 180 degrees, that now becomes the front of the other one.
Right.
Yeah. That's why issue 12 works with issue 13. So, guys, issue 13, keep an eye on it. As I say, that is... Some people aren't concerned. And look, this is what happens. Yeah, it's not... It's in there somewhere. In fact, actually, this... Yeah, both of my parts are present. You can see them in there. You know, so you've got to sort of say... In fact, actually, look, that one is the wrong way round. I've not actually changed mine. So that's what this part is. Yeah, this is actually the part that I was intending to change. So, look, while I'm here then...
Yeah, I think... So I can't be sure, But I
Right, the
think
right
mine.
hand side is issue 13. I now know that because that part that I've got in there is wrong. So let's try and fish that out.
Yeah, based on yours,
Right.
I think mine's fine. I think they've rectified it.
Oh, hang on. No, it was the right way round. So I've just taken that out for no reason. Oh, do you know what? Fix this before you get the wheel arches. Right. I think I've got the other one. It's the other one. Right. Okay, that's in. That is in. Right. So it can be done. Right. So it's actually this one that's wrong, which is.
Oh no!
Oh no. I don't
Actually,
like when
yeah,
you say oh no.
yeah. I think actually
There.
no. I think my 13 is wrong.
Right. That's the one that's wrong, and I can tell because there's a little circle.
Yeah, I've got a
So
circle on one side if I put them up.
yeah.
Oh
So
well,
I've not
looking at
got round to
yours.
fixing mine.
Yeah, I
Right.
think looking at yours, I'm not going to be bothered about that.
Right. Okay. This is the orientation that mine was. Can we get a focus on there? Come on, focus for me. Right. Okay. Switching to manual. I need voice control now. Right, there we go. So you can see that I've got that in upside down because the larger holes are at the top. So these two parts are absolutely identical. So see, I've got an issue 12 lying around somewhere. It should be that way, but the direction is that way. I don't think. Yeah. So that needs to be fixed with the issue 12. I have got the issue 12 because I know I did somebody else's for them. So again, it's how much you're bothered by it. I mean, not only we can just about see that now, but what's it going to look like when we've got the body work on? It's how precise you want it. So if you turn it upside down, this is the bottom. You see, you can't really see it. It's down there. So I wouldn't judge anyone that says I'm not bothered. But I just got a little bit must have it spot on kind of a mood. So what's the point of them? I don't know. They're dampers. I think dampers, don't they stop vibration? Oh, do you know what? This broke off last week and I fixed it. And I've now turned the bus over upside down and I've knocked it off again. Oh, I'm doing so much damage to this by maneuvering it round. Right, guys. So may I show you something that I did last week? Some of you would have seen this in Facebook. So see if I can find them. Right. Okay. So last week we got some supports. And they're nice, you know. Generally people liked them. Some people didn't. Switch to autofocus. And the way the supports work is they go in like that. They come outwards like that onto the little tabs there. And you weren't actually here, were you? Did you actually see last week's video, Horlicks?
No, no.
Okay. Right. So that will hold that up, and that's quite nice to work on. The problem I have is that it didn't take an awful lot there to knock that off. In fact, the vibration was so much, it just knocked the webcam off my 3D printer.
Just as useless as my DeLorean ones, then.
They're not, I wouldn't call them totally useless, but they're not very steady. So this is only a first. I like that. Stuart said some business people know nothing about business. Right. So this is my first prototype, and I think this is quite successful. I have designed 4 rods, and Too short. Why have I got 5? Because I did a good one. Right, ignore that one. That was my... So these are actually my second prototypes. What we've got here is we've got some rods. I can't remember the dimensions at the moment, but we've got... Basically, we've got 2 rods with a little slot in them. And that slot is, by coincidence, the exact same width of this. And then that goes onto there like that. And this one goes on like that. That way. At the moment, I've designed them so the rod is behind, so it's under the bus a little bit. Take this one up. Then this one goes on like that. And this one on like that. And then you connect the 2 bits with this short one. Like so. Sorry, guys. I should practice this more. Right. That one, I've trimmed a little bit away at that, and it's as a result, it's made it loose. So if I lift the bus up, so if we then place that on there like that, that now makes a supporting jig. However, the only drawback at the moment, this is why I say it's only a prototype. There's no support in that corner yet. However, what we have got is... Dun, dun, dun. Can we have a drum roll? I think the side... Oh, there we go. We've just got to put... that needs to go in there. Right, I've obviously not got my sizer spot on. Okay, I need to make the short jigs a little bit longer. But basically, the principle is that this now adds... Can you see that I'm shaking that and that's staying stable? It's not coming off the jigs. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
Jack stands. It's actually... Oh, no, it's not. It is the right length. But you see this bit there, you can't really see it. But there you go. This bit's airborne. It's about 0.5 centimetre off the ground, which now brings the wheels up even higher. But it's... If we're not doing any more work on the engine, then this is... Didn't really want to see my pajama. Oh, this is just my top. Most of my dirty work top, that's where I keep missing. So just for clarification, I do paint as well. Yeah, that's... But I really need to just extend these corners so that they come out a little bit more. And, you know, for a second prototype, well, I say this is my first prototype. This was just testing the length of it. I measured it. I put it on the stand. I took measurements, and then I designed this. I designed the short one first, so I designed the long one, and then I just shortened it to make the short ones, and then I put them in. I was surprised to see that they actually fitted first time, but I think that needs to be, yeah, a little bit longer, unless I've not done it right. So, but yeah, so if you're working on that, there is going to be some give, but as long as you're not turning the bus over, it's added a lot more stability, and you don't have to have the wheels on the ground now. So the wheels on the bus don't have to go round and round. Well, the wheels on the bus can go round. How's that? So that's my little invention. Now, the next thing I'm just going to try something. I wonder if... This probably isn't going to work. Oh! Oh, if that was a little bit higher up, that would work upside down. That almost fits. So, right, I'm going to bodge this. Just using a random book, but something quite thick. That, if I can just perfect these measurements, that will work. The only reason it doesn't work is because the engine's too tall. But let me get this view higher up. So these stands will work upside down, but you really want to stabilize them. So how's that?
That's really good, yeah, especially if you're working underneath.
Yeah. So what you need to do is get yourself some big books. So if you're after big books, can I recommend Electronics for Dummies? Because look at the size of that one. Or maybe we could do a plug here for Asset Drop and get 2 of them. Sorry, that was really shameless there, wasn't it? So, yeah, brilliant. So I think I need to get some more work done on these jigs. Right. I was actually going to bring that up, Ron Cheeky Crouch. My wheels are, I can't remember who it was, but someone posted on Facebook about straightening the wheels. Now, let's see if I can get this. Right, that's my wheels. I'm trying to get good light. Wherever I put this, there's a shadow. Right. They're my wheels, and they don't look too bad. They don't look awful. But if I now do this, I can't get the view. Right, I'm gonna have to. Sorry, guys. I've got my webcam on like a boom, and it's quite hard manoeuvring it around, and it's only got a limited reach because I've kind of got it set up for an overhead view. My problem I have is that I buy equipment to do things in a certain way, and then I end up doing something different, and it no longer works as well as I wanted it to. So let's see if I can. Right. Can you see that this now looks awful when I put it on its side? This is absolutely flat to the ground. But this looks terrible now. And it's actually got quite a lot of play on it. So that's what it should look like. And that's what it actually looks like. So whether that's to do with the wheel or the steering. So I don't know if I can do anything about it. But I think actually it is the wheel. Because I think I need to take the wheels off. If you remember before, I said, remember we were trying to sort out the wheel wobble, and oh, I love that, love minis, boom boom. I took the wheel off and I put that chock that I made, and that kind of helped. But what I think the real problem is the way that the wheels attach to the suspension. It's actually, there we go, there's a screw in there and there's a screw further down. I think you did this on issue 9, Horlicks?
Yes.
I think it's that screw there. The one you put the screw in and you were really carefully, I'm going to just switch my camera view to something a little bit more, you can see me kind of view. Right. You were kind of putting this screw in. I'll tell you what, I'll try and find the magazine. Oh, was it issue 9?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Was it 8? 8 or 9.
Let's have a look. 8.
Well, there was 2,
Oh.
wasn't there? So it's
Ah, it
going
would
to
have
be
been
7.
7 or 9.
Yeah, 7 or 9.
Right. So, right. Issue 9, stage 8, maybe. Oh, I might have. Sorry. Switching views again. Right. Issue. Is it this one here? But it's not that one. It's. Oh, there we go. Stage 2. It's these little brackets. I think if they're not in as tight, so if you put them in too tight, you get no movement on your wheels at all.
No, that's
I
right. Yeah.
think I think if you don't put them in tight enough, I think that you're going to get too much movement. But I think you hit the nail on the head, where what you wanted to do was put it in tight and then wear it in. Do you remember you were putting it in and then you were twist, 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 and then
Yeah.
you were adjusting the screw? And I think what that was doing was when you've got this fresh piece of plastic, it's going to be quite grippy. And then what you've effectively done is simulated lots and lots of wear.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're metal parts, aren't they? And I think I had to grind a bit of the paint off by doing that, just to
Yeah,
make it a little bit nicer.
yeah. I think that's what it is. I think I put mine in and mine were nice and tight. But where I've been going, oh looks, we've got steering. Blah, 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 it's worn some of it away. Um, right, Lucas has fixed his prop shaft in today. Found it very easy. I tipped it up on its back, slid the engine down the chassis straight. Yeah, I was actually talking. You take care, Stuart. Yeah, I'm up at 5 as well. That's why I don't like going too much beyond 10. But I'm lucky because I've got split shifts, so I come home. Although I won't be tomorrow. I'm working extra long tomorrow.
I've got to
Um,
go back to work tomorrow.
oh God, poor old you. I bet it's going to be hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you find when you go back after a bit of time off, you're not actually very good at your job for about half a day?
Yeah.
It's almost like you've forgotten how to do your job.
You just go around gossiping, everyone's talking about your holiday, and
Well, yeah, that's the good bit, isn't it? So yeah, that wheel, but I don't know if I'm overly bothered about that front wheel, and B, if I am bothered about it, how I'm going to do it. I
I
really don't
think
know.
if you're actually going to shrink yourself like in the movie, get in and drive it down the highway, I think you should be bothered.
Oh
But
God, yeah. I
if
mean,
it's going to sit
if
on your shelf, I wouldn't bother.
yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to take this. I wouldn't take this out of the depot, and I'd no, I'd get the trade union involved in this one. That's not fit for purpose. But as a model, it's absolutely amazing. And you've got to kind of appreciate that when you're scaling things down 1 to 12, you're going to lose a lot, and things don't always scale in three dimensions properly, does it?
No, that's right.
Um, what we have got is excellent, and if I thought I was if I thought I was wasting money, then I would stop. I'd cut my losses and stop. And every issue, I genuinely love this model. Every week, I just love it a little bit more. Last week, I said we've kind of put a little black border around it with those safety bars. You're going to love them, Horlicks. I can promise you that. Actually, I think that's not even a joke. I think you will genuinely love them because they're like a little bit of a puzzle,
Right,
and I think you'll enjoy working it out. Because in the magazine they all look the same,
right.
and then you've got 3 different sizes and 2 different directions. So yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it. Chris is very kindly reminding me of the bins. Chris, I'm going to completely change the subject here, and I apologise to everyone else. Chris, we need to arrange a meet-up, not a meet-up, but a video conference about your printer. I know you asked me some questions about. I kind of baffled you with a few buzzwords, didn't I? So we need to sort something out. But I'd love to know how you're getting on. Maybe we should get Chris Campling on the show. What do you think, guys? Can we pressure Chris Campling on to coming on to the show?
Absolutely.
I'd love to have him on the show. Oh yes. Ron Cheeky Crouch is asking about the Ectomobile. Now some of you youngsters will know nothing. But in the is it the 80s? Is it actually been released, Ron? Has anyone heard of Ghostbusters? Wow, sorry, I'm overwhelmed now because basically they're bringing out Ghostbusters. It's an old ambulance hearse thing. It's just awesome, absolutely awesome, and it's got to have the siren that goes and it's just brilliant, and it's because obviously I was around when the film came out. I mean, you look at Dan Aykroyd now, and you look at Dan Aykroyd back then. There's a hell of a difference. But I heard it's on trial, so I suspect that A, it won't go past trial, and B, I won't get a copy because I never seem to get a copy when it's on test. However, Warhammer 40k, I seem to be one of the first ones to get the issues. Now I didn't get a chance to contact them, Love Minis, but I've set a second subscription up for someone, and the second subscription hasn't arrived, but I've got 2 parcels at the post office which I missed the postman yesterday. So I'm having them re-delivered to the post office tomorrow. I know that one is some electronics for a different project. I've not received my latest issues of Routemasters, so I suspect that it's actually them. And we've got the Routemaster, we've got the Warhammer that's due. So I need to get onto them because they've taken the payment for it. But they've sold out of issue 1 on Warhammer because you got so much with issue 1 for so little. Everyone was going out and buying like 10 copies. Chris Davies, do we want Chris Davies to come on? Sorry, I'm just catching some of the chats. I'm actually going to go back. So it seems to be that Ecto is definitely on trial, which is what I suspected. So I doubt I'll get a copy because I never do.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a test copy of the Terminator because I wanted the head.
Yeah, I mean, when they come out, they're going to be fantastic, absolutely amazing. Do you know what, Fleetwood J? I've heard about the Knight Rider car, and the only fear I have with things like that is I don't know if it's going to appeal to the youngsters. For us oldies, it's absolutely amazing.
I used to watch Knight Rider.
Yeah, but what happens?
Think of all the electrics in it. It's kind of the flashing lights at the front, and there'd be wiring galore.
I can do that trailing light because those that watch me on Twitch will have seen me do trailing lights on my new electronics set. So yeah, Dave Sayers said that this show is starting to make a precedent on other sites such as Facebook groups, which is great, you guys. Yeah, do you know what, Dave? I really genuinely am. I've seen people say, like Dave, I think said, Dave Mill, I think he said, watching Penny's show, and then he was talking about the handbrake, and then I'm having messages from people saying, can you help? And I'm just so overwhelmed because It was me and you were talking about this the other day, Horlicks. When we started these videos, we did it probably more just to put a video diary in. I know when I started my painting videos, I wanted to put some painting videos out, and
Yeah,
then after a couple of years, I want to go back and watch them,
yeah,
and then I want to see how much better I am or am not. And it's been such good fun, and I've had so much encouragement, and people have got involved, and this build, it's not my build anymore, it's our build, and everyone's getting involved. And I say, just last night I was doing text exchanges with someone. They were having trouble with their radiator, and someone commented earlier on about just got theirs in and moving it back, and it's a tricky issue, but it's there's a couple of things. But you see, where I'm finding things out as I build, I'm passing that information on, and then
yeah.
people are going, Penny, can you help? And I never, but yeah, I am so overwhelmed. um so so Chris Davies, yes, we would like you on the show. We're 1 minute we were asking people to come if they want to come on the show, and there didn't seem to be anyone stepping forward. So we've put some extra effort in to try and get certain people, and now people are starting to come forward. We've got another 95 issues, so we'll get everybody on the show. But it's obviously when people now starting to come forward, it might be a case of, yeah, we can fit you in a month or 2 months or 3 months. But yeah, I'd like to see. I want to talk to as many different people as I can,
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah,
because I know that between myself and Dave Say, and there's, I think it's you, Chris Davies, there's three different elements that we enjoy. And for whatever type of build we've got, I might love something. Dave might be like, yeah, that's okay. And then Chris might be like, yeah, I like that, but it's not my favorite. And then another issue, Chris will go, yeah, this is fantastic. And Dave will be saying, yeah, that's okay. And then I'll be going, yeah, it's okay. There wasn't so much to do this issue, but to be honest with you, I'm quite grateful of it. It's a little bit of a slowdown. And then when we start getting some awesome pieces again, I'll be going, yeah. But someone else might be thinking that this is the most fantastic issue of the whole lot. So I'd love to talk to people. I'd love to know what bits they've struggled with and what bit that they found slower. Um, were there any stages where they just thought, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to jack it in, but they stuck with it? Is it challenging for them? Um, So yeah, and then 32 Solar saying the Caterham 7 looks good too. I have seen it. It's a case of, I believe the Caterham 7 is being done by D'Agostini. So when Hachette, they tend to do one issue at a time builds, whereas the Agostini, they seem to do one issue at a time, but when it finishes, they then revert it to model space where you can buy it as packs. So I'm thinking the Caterham 7 is going to be there. I might wait until it's finished and then do that through model space. So, um, and then, oh, I'm losing it. They made a movie about it too. I've lost the context of that, Love Minis. I do apologise. Um, yeah, Fleetwood J's talking about the Vauxhall Samba bus. Oh, I haven't heard of the VW Beetle Cabriolet, um, but I've heard of the Vauxhall Samba. I think that's out in another country, and that's looking really, really good. Um, Oh, Fight Sweep, you've just got me going now. Can we have a 1 to 6 scale Ford Gran Torino? Now, the Ford Gran Torino, that's the Starsky and Hutch car, am I right? And the General Lee one would be really good, but I think in this current era, that might cause too much controversy because it's got the Yankee flag on the roof. So I think they might cause a bit of controversy with that. Um, Yeah, Chris Campling got the 3D printer all in one. Um, Basically, when that first came out, that would have been issue one this week and issue two next week. But once it's finished, it then goes over to model space. Um, so yeah. So Horlicks, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't think so. Just that I have received my issues. I filmed
I,
one. It was hard work because I was just like not in the right mood, if I was honest. Um,
right.
the camera kept messing me around. It kept going off, and I was building it, and then I'd look and it had stopped recording, and I had to 4 or 5 times I had to unscrew all the
Oh.
steering.
Do you think making YouTube video puts you under a bit too much pressure at times?
At times, normally I'm fine, but I think just where I was trying to get back into the swing of it,
Yeah.
I just got back from holiday and realised that I didn't have any content for this evening. I had to
Right.
quickly whip whip it together. So
So
I think
you
it's
may
come
have
out
been a
all
bit
right.
guilty. You might have been a little bit guilty of rushing a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Yeah.
But
'Cause
apart from that,
at least with like, I mean, you could now work on next week's, or yeah, you could start doing like next week's whenever you like,
yeah,
and you've got a week to do it now, haven't you?
yeah, that's it. And I think
Mm.
looking at it, I'm gonna have to take my time because there's a lot of parts in there.
Let's have a look. What issue is the one that you've released today? Must be
Uh,
about
11.
11.
So I've
Let's have
got
a
this
quick
to
sweep.
come, which is quite a big bag, and it's got all these.
Oh, that's Oh, so 11 is the one you've just finished, is it? And just published
Yeah,
that, and
and
that's
I've
the steering mechanism,
no, this is
which
all for the
I
rear.
thought was quite fun, but I found the rods kind of went off in their own place. You had to kind of tell them off and go stay. Did you
Yeah,
find that?
basically, yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
all
it
over the
looks
place.
nice, doesn't it? And then
But
issue 12 and 13 are the left and the right rear suspension arms.
yes, so I've got them. Yeah, I've opened this one just to check the parts, but not. So yeah, I've got all the parts to do on there with the brake line,
Yeah,
and then obviously that'll be the same for 13.
yeah.
So I've got two of them to do,
And then you'll have the rear axle
and
on
then the
part
rear.
14.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is going to be bringing parts 12 and 13 together. And
and then that is where I'm at.
I have just got really excited now because I've seen what's coming up in next month's.
And I've also the only other updates I've got is that slightly off subject, but the DeLorean they sent out the yellow LEDs in error, and after all the builds, realised that they were wrong. I just received an envelope, no letter of apology, just an envelope with two LEDs in. That was all that was in the bag. So I'm guessing that is for the DeLorean. No, it is, and I've changed them this afternoon. So
Well,
that is now in my model. These are the old yellow LEDs. So I've received them, and I've also received the replacements for R2D2, 83 and 84 because I don't know if you've seen my videos, Penny, but I had some dodgy wiring in this issue
yes, I
where
remember you saying about that.
the
And
wiring wasn't in properly, and the same
yeah,
for the motor. The wiring wasn't in the motor properly, so I've got two new issues for those.
yeah.
So
Someone's left a comment. Rod Cheeky Crouch would love to do 1 to 8 scale GMC 18 van. But then Fighter Sweeper said you'd need a 1 to 8 scale Mr. T to go with it. But I pity the fool that makes that model. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. And Dave Say is asking and he'd love to do a GMC CCKW Jimmy 6x6 army truck. Dave, you're just showing off now, aren't you, with your knowledge of vehicles?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you. I think this is funny, but it's been resolved. So I'm going to have to leave you talking for about 10 seconds. I'm going to show you something I received in the post yesterday.
Well, yeah, I'll finish off what I was. So that's it, really. And I did receive. Now, don't get excited. I'm not filming these on YouTube, but I have received issues 1 and 2 of the Warhammer models because I'm an entry level started painting. Very basic knowledge of painting. I really, for 199, I thought it was a bargain. So I did actually buy these in the newsagents, and I bought 2 copies. Oh, because you get three lots of paint in there. I thought that was amazing. So 3 lots of paint, a paintbrush, models. So
Models are £10 on their own, aren't they?
yeah, so I bought 2 of them, and I thought, well, you can't really go wrong. So I bought 2 of those, and I've already started one. I've got the paints here. I've already painted the base coat on one of my figures. There isn't really a lot in it, but you can tell it's been painted. It's just a little bit more dull, I think, the one that's been painted.
Yeah.
Um,
What I really like
then,
about the format of the magazine is it doesn't complete the model. It takes you to a stage where it's acceptable for a beginner, and
yeah,
then in future magazines it will come back with another color, and then it starts to add more detail, and
yeah,
it literally teaches you to walk, and we're
and
not even going to think about running yet.
not only that. I mean, obviously, you've kindly helped me out with a few pots of paint. So I was more interested in the actual models, and I've got some paint. I can, even if I went freestyle on them. I mean, I'm not going to probably play the game, just to experiment with techniques and things, And this is perfect platform to do that because I'm not wasting loads of money on models that I'll be too scared to paint in case I mess them up. So obviously, yeah, and as I say, I've received issues 1 and 2 through the post again. Well, I have. This is the only issue 2 I've got, and then I must confess, I only did that to get the free cutters, glue, and this ridiculous sized tool. But yeah, so I'm going to carry it on. I'm going to get issues 3, 4, 5, and 6 through the post next month because then that's not a lot, and then I'm going to cancel the subscription. So I'll have enough to play with by that point. And then
with your
later
3D
on,
printer, you'll be able to sort of print your own stuff off.
yeah, and not only that, later on, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on yours, Penny. If there's some paint that is really worth getting,
Yeah.
that's worth £8.99, like some special colours or metallics or whatever, I can just go on their online shop and buy the issue on its own.
Or you can go down GW and buy it for £2.50.
Well, yeah, there was that, but it depends, like as a whole package, though. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there could be like
Yeah.
3 or 4, 5 metallic paints, and then a giant model or a structure that I think, oh, I want that. £8.99, yeah, I'll have that.
There is a rumour of some figures that you can only get via the magazine, but I
Right.
don't know how true that is.
I mean, I know you said something about issue 5, possibly.
Yeah. Issue 5 apparently is like a hero model. Now, the hero models tend to go for £12 to £15 for a single model.
Right.
Whether you say they're worth it or not, I don't know. But it's a different style of painting. With units, it's about knocking them out and getting them to a good standard, but you're getting a lot out. Whereas your heroes, your sergeants, and your your generals, you want them looking your absolute best. And a lot of people might spend more time doing a single hero model than they would a unit of 10. because they want that extra quality about it. Um,
What's that, Chris? You got to go soon. Great live stream. I'll be away. Are you actually going to Alton Towers, or are you just going near it? I've got my Alton Towers pass here. I love it at Alton Towers. So yeah, but no, yeah, I think it's just going to be a case of see with that when it comes to that. I'm going to keep an eye on yours.
Alan Rooney's just said, don't forget 321 dusty bin. Right, for the last quarter of an hour, I'll show you this that I've got. Now, I've mentioned it a few times, but I've started electronics, and a lot of the big YouTubers that do electronics are recommended a company called, or a website called Banggood. And I've done a couple of little orders, and I ordered this, and this is my very
No.
first thing that came with. This was, I can't remember if it was 13 or 17 pounds. It arrived yesterday, and the
Oh.
first thing that fell out of the box, and I haven't got it on me, is I'll call it a Chinese to English plug adapter, so I can plug this into an English socket. That's not a problem. I've had a few things before that have got adapters, but this is what I got. Oh, there it is. I have got it. Yeah. So I got this. So you can assume there's going to be a power supply with it, can't you?
Oh.
That would be a reasonable assumption. I have semi-assembled this, but not too much. And there's a reason I didn't assemble it too much, because I couldn't. So we've got the magnifier with a little extra magnifier bit there, where my fingertip is. You can see there. Actually, if we get some stuff to look at, you can see the magnifier bit within the magnifier. That's a bit useful. Then you've got this bit, which is an extra magnifier on top of the extra magnifier. And you've got these two bits that are, I think these are exactly the same as these. So they're spares rather than extras. Now, they forgot to put in the bit that connects this to the arm. Right? So that's the first bit they're missing. As you can also notice, can you notice anything else obviously missing?
A
I'll
plug?
give you a clue. A plug. So there's no plug. Anything else you might notice?
The crocodile clips?
The crocodile clips and the
Soldering
solder
holder?
Yeah, so there's four elements. So I got onto them straight away. They got like a live chat, and I think they've redeemed themselves because I was using the term crocodile clips. Oh, there's a little LED light as well. I don't know how bright that is. But the clip it doesn't seem fantastic. But other than that, the quality seems all right. I like these. I had one of these before, and there was a tiny little metal bit, but these seem quite solid. Yeah, I got onto them and I said, I think my actual expression was something like the crocodile clips were missing, the solder holder was missing, the connector for the magnifying was missing, and the plug was missing. But other than that, it was a really nice shade of orange. Because you've got to put a bit of positivity in, haven't you? And they referred it to some other department, and they came back to me and they sent me a picture because they said, "Can you send some pictures of the shipping label and of any of the actual parts?" Well, because obviously I can send photos on the phone, and I just went bang, 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 bang. There, I sent them about 6 photos, and then this morning they sent me a photo of this bit. And they said, "Is this the part that's missing?" And I went, "Yep, that's it." But they've decided there's so much wrong with it, they're going to send out another one. Now, in all fairness, they quoted five, five to 21 business days for delivery. Now, my first package that I ordered, that's sitting at the post office, so that did arrive yesterday. And that took about 10 days to arrive. This took about 5 days to arrive, and I've got some other stuff coming as well. But my first attempt, I mean, I have No, I was going to print off a jig where it's basically you just put the wires in, but for the price of this, I just thought, well, I'll get this. But
Yeah.
I
But
did actually say, this is the first time I've used Bang Good, more like Bang Bad, and but they didn't laugh at that. So,
no. But the only thing I will say, that plug adapter you did receive,
yeah,
I would bin it
would you?
because the only reason why I got one, and I found the plug to be very loose, like because obviously it's a universal one. You can
Oh,
fit so many different
on
sockets
there.
on it. But I follow another lad on YouTube who does a lot of tearing. He buys a lot of Chinese and electronics from Poundland and stuff from
I think I
China.
know the guy you mean. Is he a Scottish guy?
Yeah, and he's got a big beard. He strips
Yes,
everything apart, and
yes.
he said if you get one of them, throw it in the bin. He said they're
Okay,
really dangerous.
okay, that's going in the bin then.
So that's all I
But
know. So
obviously, this isn't very dangerous at the moment because there's no plug to go in it.
no, that's it. I think it's more because they're loose and they can arc and cause all sorts of issues.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I will consult with my resident electronics expert, who's just written the word arms, and I'll look at removing the plug that comes with this and putting a UK plug on.
Yeah,
Obviously, I need to know about the voltages and things. If it's compatible with the 220, I suppose it would be, wouldn't it? If you're going to plug
yeah.
this straight into it, then we could put a new plug on and plug that straight in the
Or
wall.
just get a replacement like shaver socket type thing or adapter.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. It's up to you what you do.
No,
But
it's fine.
that's what I've.
It's what I'm looking. I mean, some of the things on there that you can get. I've seen people say, like for example, the solder wire. Um, you've got to really know if you go into an electronics shop in the UK, whatever you buy, you're going to be getting a certain amount of quality.
Mm,
But if you buy it from a Chinese website, the quality is going to range from absolutely amazing to pretty dangerous. Don't bring it anywhere near. Don't bring it within 3 miles of your kids.
mm,
So you've got to know what you're looking. You're looking for certain words, and what's to say that they're not using these words incorrectly.
mm.
So there's certain things you have to be careful of, and that's one thing I'm going to learn. I think over the next so many orders, I think I'm going to end up with a few um, products that are going to be a waste of time. But I've ordered a little project. It's a solder practice project, and what it is it's a 30-second countdown, and it comes with 30 LEDs, 30 resistors, and two or three switches and a battery box. So
Oh
there's
yeah, I love those kits.
yes, it's something like about 130 solder points, and obviously the main you're going to get something out of it in the end, but this it's to practice soldering, and as everybody says, the more soldering you do, the better you get at it. I'm also looking at a better solder iron. Um, I will confess I did rush in and buy this. This actually come from Amazon, and it's not brilliant, but I'm not going to give up on it because it may be not brilliant because I don't know how to use it. I mean, it's got a variable temperature thing on. So, for example, am I using the wrong temperature? That kind of thing.
Mm.
So, I've probably wasted a little bit of money by buying cheaper stuff. But
It's a shame. I've got Maplins. It's gone now, isn't it? I've got this one from
yeah,
Maplins,
sorry, let me switch to you.
and it's one of the gas ones.
Ah, now it's funny you say that because I've seen a kit on Amazon. Um, Here we are. This caught my attention. Um, See if I can pull it up on the screen. Screen share. There we go. I've seen this from Amazon, and it's oops. Right, just bear with me. I've lost control of my cursor. There we go. And it's a soldering iron desoldering station with hot air gun, solder rework tool, LED display with 3 nozzles. Um, I want to just check that out a bit more because at £55, if it's a load of crap, it's a lot of money for a lot of crap.
Mm.
So yeah, I agree with you, Dave. Say that Shane Maplin's has gone. But did you think Maplin's was expensive?
It,
I know the products were good, but
yeah, I found some of it was, but it depends what you were after. Like this soldering iron was, I think, 19 quid,
oh, that's
and
good.
I've had it a few years now, and it's brilliant. It's got different ends you screw on. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
gas, so you can spark it
Ah,
up anytime.
I used to have one of those butane gas ones, and I think they're brilliant. When I used to have a motorbike, I needed to rewire all my lights. A lot of the lights, I think they hadn't been waterproofed properly, and all the wet had got into the wires and rotted them all. And I ended up pretty much rewiring the whole bike.
Mm,
Um, and I got on rig because obviously, if you got a bike outside, you don't really want to be running like a 50-meter extension cable just to run a soldering iron.
no.
And I used that butane one, and I thought it was a little bit thirsty on the gas, but I thought it was most useful.
Yeah.
Tandy, I semi remember Tandy. Um,
Yeah, I remember Tandy. They used to
what
do
did they sell?
repairs as well as like a repair shop.
Ah,
And they did hi-fi and electricals, but they also did repairs,
that's
but
right.
at a
Yeah,
very costly price.
right. I think Graham Presswood has hit the nail on the head there. With soldering is like painting; it's all in the preparation, and I think that's the case with a lot of things. Prepare yourself first. Um, like with your painting your models, you get yourself a nice smooth layer of primer, then you get a nice smooth base coat. Everything else is going to go on easily. So, another great show, oh, Radio Shack. I remember them. Didn't they do a lot of ham radios and stuff like that? If I remember, actually, they still exist. Sure, they do. I might be wrong. Anyway, do you have anything to add, Horlicks?
No, I don't think so. Not this week.
Right. So,
Um,
what's the issue number next week? Issue 36, isn't it? Is that a Dave Say week? I think that is, isn't it? Can we extend a public invite for Dave Say? And I think Dave would enjoy this. So I will be sending messages out to him, and yeah, we'll also crack. Well, I'm going to crack on with trying to get that stand a little bit better, and then maybe we can share the design or share. I think I did send it to someone. Was it you, Stuart? Someone sent me a message asking me about it, and I sent the 3D print files to them. So I'd like to know how they got on. Um, and we'll start looking at some lining up some guests, and we may actually be getting a fairly large YouTuber on the show, and that's all I'm really going to say about it at this stage. What do you think of that?
I'm already here.
Oh, of course. Oh, I want to do it. So no, you just reminded me. I want to do a plug. This guy doesn't know that I'm plugging him, but I found him last week, and it's going to take me a moment to find him. But I will probably put this guy in the description. What it is, it's a German guy that has managed to get hold of the Routemasters, and he's been building it, and hopefully I can find it. There we are. Sorry, my alarm's just gone. You know what my alarm's for at this time of night, don't you? I have my alarm go off at 10 to remind me of the bins, but I never actually put the bins out at this time. Right, okay, so it's a chap called Back to 1985 Nets. Um, so how am I going to do this? I need to find my own show. There we are. Right. So if you want to have a look, I would urge you to have a look at this guy because his here we go. He has a completely different format. And he basically records himself doing the Routemasters. There's no speech. And he just gets on with it. But yet somehow he yeah, I'll get to that set. But yeah, somehow he explains the build so well without using any speech whatsoever. And I think the guy's absolutely amazing. He's only up to issue 4 at the moment, and he's got a source from the UK sending him Routemaster, and he's doing it so well. And I'm going to try and get a bit friendly with him, and we might be able to get him on. So he does quite a few builds. He's doing build the X-Wing, build the Routemaster, build the DeLorean. He's doing the VW Samba bus as well. I think that's all he's doing at the moment. And he's only got 74 subscribers. There's something wrong there. So yeah, guys, give him a little look because and tell him I sent him. Tell him that Penny loves him and wants to see him on the show.
I've just subscribed to him, so
Yeah. But honestly, you won't regret it. I think he's absolutely brilliant. So 32 Sol, you said about making a stand from the opposite sides. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, well, for now, we could probably use a book that only goes, sorry, I've got it on you. Obviously, the stand is, say, this big, the bus is this big, so we want a book or something. But all we probably want is just some blocks that will just go across the stand, and that would work. But obviously, we don't want anything that's going to be too costly to make because these stands that I'm making are probably just going to go in the bin once we finish the bus. Because the stands that they've given us, they're perfectly adequate for displaying, but I don't think they're that good for. It's only my opinion, but I don't think they're that good for actually working on the bus. But yeah, I'll work on it. And 32 Sol is saying that your DeLorean looks good there.
oh right, yeah, yeah. I had a little tidy up, and I'm glad it's all here now. It was a bit all over the place before, but yeah, I'm really loving it.
Yeah, say you've had your problems with that, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, the old DeLorean. I think if I knew it was going to be like it was, I don't think I would have done it. But I've muddled through, and yeah, I think it's so this doesn't the
Sounds
doors.
sturdy.
Pardon?
It sounds sturdy.
Yeah, I mean, I've got an issue with this door now, which I've only just realised, so I'm not sure what's wrong with that. Whether the door's bent.
I think everyone had issues with that door, didn't they, from the videos that I've seen?
Yeah, I mean, it could be where I've just balanced the shell on the top.
Oh, is it not actually in yet?
No,
Okay.
no, it's not. I must. Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It's fine. I think it's just where
Okay.
it's not fitted together properly yet. But I'm not looking forward to doing that because it doesn't seem to want to fit very nicely.
Well, I say these people have been doing part works for quite a long time now, and I think they look like they're improving in quality. Um, and there seems to be a little bit of certain elements are being copied by the different company. Like, the first thing that everyone said about the Routemaster stands was, oh, just like the DeLorean stands.
Mm.
So I'm guessing Hachette have looked at that and gone, yeah, we like that. We'll use that design.
But no, it's going to look good. It's
Yeah.
on its stand, I suppose.
Mm. So yeah. So yeah, if basically it's getting to a point now where we all need to earn loads of money, I think I'm going to have to be doing permanent overtime to be able to afford all of these things.
Yeah, I think. Well, this is nearly finished now.
Yeah,
Well, I say nearly. I think there's about 40 issues or so.
yeah. Which is
R2D.
another reason why I think the Ecto's not going to come out. I think the Ecto one might come out after that.
Yeah, and then
Because
R2D2 is finished in about, is it 14? 15 or
something like that, yeah.
14?
And the rumor is that that will be replaced with the X-wing.
Yes. And then after that, I don't know what I'm going to take. I might not take anything else on until the bus is done and
Yeah.
I'll finish the DeLorean.
Yeah, I'm with the Ecto one, the Terminator. See, I'm signed up for the Terminator, so I will get 3 issues free if I subscribe to that. So and again, if it's a D'Agostini part work, I might just wait till the end and then get it as model space, because in a year and a half I've got the Harley Davidson and the Millennium finishing, but I am looking at maybe the DC3, which should be fun. So, oh, Dave Milne says 14 issues to go on R2.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm waiting for the issue where they tell you about the batteries that we need to be buying because I want to get them up and get them ordered. Um, because I think we're going to need them charged for one of the issues. And I've got, obviously, because I smoke an e-cigarette, I've got, they're not the same batteries. I know that, but they will fit in my charger that I've got, so I can charge them all at the same time instead of using their little charger. But I want to get them ordered in so I can get them charged up.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything yet in the magazines about it, so
I'm sure it'll be all over Facebook once it happens.
I've got my little pot of gold on my shelf now that I wanted. My gold
Your little
leaf.
pot of gold.
Gold leaf.
I saw issue 3 come out today, and it looks a big one. And but unfortunately, I got WH Smith quite literally as they were like, "Oh, you're quick," and I'm like, "Yeah, I just because I had a bit of they swapped my school bus this morning, and I got back to the bus station early, so I managed to run into WH Smith to get my magazine, and they hadn't even unpacked everything from their boxes, and I saw these big piles of the rocks,
Were
and
you
I think I
banging at the
saw,
door?
yeah, I literally was actually this morning. It really depends. Well, quite often, I mean, I try and get my magazine before my lunch break because then I can scan the pages in ready for you in my lunch break. And I managed to get, well, quite often I'll have like 2 pieces for my first half of work. So if I can be in the right place, it only takes me 5 minutes to go to WH Smith's, and I can just quickly nip round the corner, have a look at the woman. If she smiles at me, I know it's in. If she doesn't smile, I know it's not in. So if she smiles, I join the queue and I pick the magazine up. And I say I'm like a little child. I really am. I'm like, oh, is it in? Is it in? And then she chucks it on the counter, and I go, "Whoa, that looks brilliant! That's so much better than I thought it was going to be."
Hmm.
And then I'm running back to the bus stop with my little magazine in my hand, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory with his golden ticket. So, yeah, every Wednesday I become a 6-year-old again.
Do you know what? I thought I was going to be like that because the only worry when I was started the park, 'cause this is first sort of part works I've ever done.
Yeah.
I like to get on and build something. I don't like the waiting around, and I thought
Yeah.
I'd struggle having to wait each month for the delivery, but I've surprised myself, and actually, I find it all right.
Yeah.
Something to look
Well,
forward to.
we had an issue of the Routemasters, or I had an issue come out on the Tuesday, and I gotta confess it's the biggest mistake I made getting it on a Tuesday, because then I'm looking at it Tuesday night, and I'm looking at it all Wednesday, and I'm thinking I want to build it, but I like to open it up on camera. And when you see me build it, that's the first I've actually seen it. Obviously, I'll look at the parts and I might do a little bit of a speculate. Um, but obviously, I've got to open the magazine to scan it in. But I want that to be a surprise as much as I possibly can. And yeah, getting it on a Tuesday for me is a big mistake because I just want to build it. I'm almost tempted to do a third build that I can build in secret because I can't wait to build it. but they had one issue come in a day late, which that was one of my first live videos, and it was one of the wheels. And I think it was issue 20, which just by coincidence happened to be exactly the same as issue 18. So I said, "Oh, I haven't got issue 20 in, so let's pretend this is issue 20," and we built it. So thankfully we had a backup plan. But every week I say to her, I go, "I don't know what we're gonna do if it doesn't come in on the Wednesday. I really don't. You know,
No.
we're gonna have to talk about something and then do a double build the next week." So, oh my God! And then I'll get the issue on a Thursday, and I've got to sit and look at it for 6 days. Oh, that'd be awful.
Well, it's not. Look, I mean, I've had to look at these for about 2 months
Oh,
now.
I feel your pain, Horlicks. I really do.
I don't even know which ones I've got now. 24, 26, 23, 23, 24, 25, and 26.
Right, okay, I'm going to look at winding up. So
Oh,
next
Dave.
week we're going to do. Sorry?
Sorry, Dave just said on Model Space forum, I can get up to issue 96. Yeah, I refuse to go on their website anymore. I've had a bad experience with the forum, and they've called me an alarmist and all sorts just by asking some help and advice. So I refuse to go on there. But if you want to find out for me where we get the batteries from for next week, that'd be really good.
Yeah, I won't do it, but if you want to do the legwork for me.
Yeah, no, I won't go on there because of them. They were very quite nasty to me, to be honest, and someone else, another user. Um, so yeah,
You always get one of them on the forums, though, don't you?
yeah. Well, he was the admin, but there was no need for it,
Yeah.
and I can't complain to Diagostini because they've got nothing to do with them, apparently.
All right, fair enough. Even though it's on their site.
Yeah, I know. It's like a third party forum, apparently.
Fair enough.
Never mind.
So, yeah, so next week we're going to fit the rest of the cab, and hopefully we'll actually attach that to. I mean, obviously the picture, as always, is vague. Um, if I can, oops, no, I don't even know what I'm doing now. Look, tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually find it myself. Save you a job, Horlicks. Sorry guys, bear with me. There. Oh, has that come? Oh, that's come up on my big screen. Penny can't control her PCs. Right, so screen share. So yeah, as always, it's a little bit vague, but it does look like that's going to be fitted to the part that we did this week. But it doesn't state whether we're going to fit that to the chassis. Can we assume we will, do you think?
Hmm.
And we don't have our cheat sheet beyond issue 36, do we? So we
I
don't
can.
actually know what's happening after that.
No, my speculation is that it won't be going on the chassis just yet.
Okay.
Because, remember, underneath all of those holes we need to fill.
Oh, of course.
So I think
Yes.
it's too soon to be fixing that on unless you can get to it from underneath. But I don't know.
Won't be able to. Um,
But then
I've
that steering
actually
mechanism
lost.
might take up all the screws. You don't know.
Could do. Could do. Um, I have actually mislaid my driver's cab. I do not know where it is, but that's a reflection of my desk, which is slowly getting sorted with the help of lots of 3D printed things. Um, right, that will turn up. Oh, here it is. I put it on the wrong shelf. This is what I do. I put it on the wrong shelf. So I'm going to pop that on with the bus shelf. Um, so yeah, so maybe we're going to be working on this driver's cab for a few weeks. I don't know. We have absolutely no information beyond 36, which in one sense, uh, sorry, 32 so they won't let you on the Facebook E-type Jag group for some reason. Do you know what? I'm gonna bring this up. When I first started doing the Routemaster, there was a Routemaster Facebook group, and I had a little bit of a. What actually happened? There was a guy that was. I found him quite rude and abrasive, and quite argumentative. And what I do on Facebook, if someone winds me up, I will block them and then I will unblock them the next morning. It's like a cool off period. Now, I didn't know that this guy was an admin. And like quite a lot of groups, apparently there's this daft rule that if you block an admin, you're kicked off the group. So before the morning came, bang, I was off the group. But it turns out that he was an admin for quite a few groups. And so I couldn't join quite a few of the groups that he was adminning. There's a couple of groups I keep trying to join, and I'm not allowed to join them. But there was a friend of mine who joined the group, and he found out that he was a friend of mine and kicked him off the group. And I'm wondering if that Jag group might have the same admin. So that's I mean, I personally, I don't want to get into the politics of Facebook, but I think that's a bad way to run a group. There's always going to be someone that winds you up, and most of the time you can avoid them. But this is why myself and Mike Anderson, we set up a Facebook group. Um, and then we found this other Facebook group, and that was doing a lot better, and it was better organized than our group. So that's why I cancelled ARC. There's no point having one little group trying to compete with a big group. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what this guy's up to these days, if he's still adminning groups, but I wonder if there's a link there, 32 Soul.
I wonder if there's a link between him
There
and the forum as well.
could be. I don't know if this other group exists. I'm not allowed to join it. I think it's been blocked. I've been completely blocked by it. Um, or it could well be that he resigned as an admin, and I'm now back in that original group. I think I'm actually because one of the admins of this current group, is it Corey? One of the girl who does the mods, I think she does for the DeLorean.
Chloe
I
Pell.
Chloe, sorry, yeah. She was admin of the group originally, and then she wasn't an admin, and she's admin for this current group. And but she's pretty much seems to have stepped aside and let Kelvin organise the group. And Kelvin's doing a really good job, I think. The only issue I've got is all the admins seem to be online at roughly the same time, and because it's one of these group posts have to be authorized. You'll get people making posts, and then you'll like last night I sat there and I'd made this post and it was sitting there for about 2 hours waiting for authorization. And then I got a notification saying that my post had been authorized. And then my phone just constantly ding, 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 ding. And there was about 6 or 7 posts that had gone through that were being authorized by the admins. It would be nice to have admins in different time zones so that as one is going to bed, another one is waking up, so that there's some, but that's always an issue with forums. It's getting the people with round the clock coverage.
Mm.
Some of the groups I've admin before, like we had an international Honda Shadow owners group, and because it was dealing with people all over the world, we were able to organise about 5 admins based in different countries. But when you're doing a part work based in the UK, you know, why would someone in America want to admin a group for a magazine that they can't get? So yeah, it's just one of those things. Um, so yeah, Dave said if it wasn't for a couple of for photography groups, yeah, I'm in one photography group. I mean, I got to admit, I like to think I use Facebook properly. I'm not one of these people that go, I've just had a poo and this is what I had for dinner. You know, I'm not one of those kinds of people. And I've got a lot of motorbike friends on Facebook. I've got work groups. For some reason, I don't know. People seem to think I'm responsible. Um, I'm at work. I've been at this job 6 months. I'm admin of the drivers banner group. I'm equalities rep with the trade union. And now I'm on the scheduling committee. How did that come about? I've just 17 years I've been driving buses. I get turned over for every single promotion I go for. I just come in and I do my job, and suddenly I'm doing really well at this particular. Maybe they're just desperate for people. I think that's what it is. They're just desperate, and I just can't say no. No, I'll tell you a funny story. We've been under so much pressure lately. We're a little bit short of drivers. That's a common theme throughout most bus companies at the moment, but we're severely short, and there's certain contracts that we have to fulfill. So obviously the managers are taking buses off service routes to fulfill these other contracts, and we're getting absolutely slaughtered by the passengers. They're so frustrated because they're waiting for buses that they shouldn't be waiting for, and we've got agency come in to try and alleviate that, but the agency have to be trained up before they can be useful members, and the managers are just they're biting at every. You go in and you say, "Oh, look." I mean, I went in the other day and I said, "Do you want me to do?" Because we've got buses being dumped at the bus station because obviously, as you can imagine, when the first shift on a particular bus, we will take the bus out of the depot, and then it will get taken over by a bus station, and then there's X amount of changeovers, and the last changeover they'll change over at the bus station, but then they'll finish at the depot. If we don't have that driver, that shift covered on that last bit, there's no one to take the bus back to the bus depot. So we might end up with, say, 5 or 6 buses at the bus station just sitting there. So the other day I went in and I said, what I planned to say was, um, do you want me to come back, pick up half an hour's overtime? I'll walk back to the bus station, pick up the bus and take it to the depot. Would that help you out? Because I've had a couple of 6:30 finishes, and I got my head chewed off for it because where the manager's been under so much pressure all day, they've just got this someone walking through the door, and that's just the straw on the camel's back. So anyway, so I'm driving my bus today, and I get this I hear this message coming over the radio, saying, "Oh, we've got shifts to cover this weekend. Is there anyone that can help us out?" So of course I'm sitting driving my bus going at the radio, going, "Yeah, you know how you are. You know, can you help us out?" "No, I'm not helping you out." Um, and then she finishes the message with saying, um, he goes, "I'd like to thank all the drivers for all their hard work over the last 3 weeks. We've all been under a tremendous amount of pressure, but we've all worked very hard to, and we've got through it." And the next thing I know, I'm hitting that call button, and I'm going, "Yeah, I'm available for Saturday. Would you like me to do a shift?" And and she goes, "Yes, Penny. I was hoping you were going to say that. I've got a lovely shift lined up for you, 7:15 to 3 o'clock." Well, 7:15 is in effect a late start for me, and 3 o'clock, because we don't have split shifts Saturday and Sunday, so 3 o'clock finish is a very early finish for me. And that's how I am. One minute I'm like, next minute I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no problems, I'll help." But I'm a real sucker. Say tomorrow I'm doing overtime. Um, and yet the manager, one of the managers, he goes, "Oh, can you do?" Because I can't do overtime on the day, because I stream in the afternoon. Um, I think it's very unfair to go into work, and then do overtime and just not stream. Because if say someone's in America, they're getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning to watch my stream. If I then don't show up, I think that's a little bit rude. But I don't see a major problem. Yeah, it is my bedtime, but you know me. Um, but yeah, if I said to people, "Look, I'm really sorry. I know I'd scheduled a stream for tomorrow, but I'm going to cancel it because they want me to work," that's not so bad because I've given notice. And I often go into it, especially on a Monday. They say, "Penny, can you work through your break?" And I'm like, "No, you know I can't, because I can't work on the day." And we have to resort to some weird tactics. I've had my boss, my operations manager, say, "Penny, can you work?" And I'm like, "I can't. It's Wednesday. You know I'll never work on a Wednesday." And then they're like, "But we really need you, Penny." And I've actually resorted to, "I'll tell you what, I'll do you a deal. I'll work Thursday if you leave me alone all the rest of the week." And it's like I got to kind of semi blackmail them by actually offering to do work in exchange for being, "Oh, that's right. Yeah, one week I said, I'll work Friday for you if you leave me alone on Wednesday." And they're like, "Okay, it's a deal." And then the rest of the week they'll go, "Penny," and I'll go, "No, no, no, we had a deal."
Well, so at least you get like a thanks, though. I mean, obviously you were saying about, oh, thanks for your hard work, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
just expect us to do overtime. We don't get any thanks for it. And then when the,
yeah.
the
We
big
we
guy does come in, they
we
go, "Oh, what have you done then?" And it's like, "Oh, do you
yeah,
know what?"
yeah. I must admit I do like this company for that reason. That they are thankful. And we're all in a bad situation at the moment, but it would be a lot worse if the drivers didn't pull in and do a little bit extra. Okay, it helps that they've given us a big pay rise for overtime. That's helped a lot of people do work, and the agency are really helping because the agency have come down to work, and they're on a 50-hour a week contract plus overtime, and they all want to put in a 6 day. So 15 drivers doing an extra day's work. That's really helping. But more importantly, I mean, I had an incident last Monday, quite a serious, potentially serious incident, and my operations manager and my chairman had my back, and you can't often say that about companies. So, and to me, it's those little things that count. And they very kindly said that we no longer have to wear ties at work, because I hate wearing my tie for work because I hate ties. I don't think they're very feminine, and I just think they look awful. So no ties for us, and we're having a new uniform sorted out because we actually have no female uniform at work. So I bought my own uniform, which I then run the risk of a disciplinary for not wearing the correct uniform. So, but I've raised this with the union. We don't have a female uniform, but we have quite a lot of female drivers. So anyway, that's another story for another day. So I need to go to bed, and I'm
Yeah.
sure some of you people do. Thank you everyone for watching. I haven't actually been keeping an eye on the figures, but we've had a few people have to leave us, and we are up to 21 watching now, and I
I
think that's really encouraging.
Yeah, I saw there was 28 earlier at some point.
Yeah,
So
that's absolutely amazing. I could never have imagined anything like this, and we just seem to be generating more interest. And I think it's down to passion. I think we're all passionate about this, and we enjoy it. And I know for me, I don't think I have any more skill than anyone else. But I think, well, both of us, we have the passion for it. So I'm going to go to bed now because I have a video from Horlicks to watch, which I do enjoy that on a Wednesday night. It's a shame I can't, because you release your videos about 7 o'clock, don't you? Or something
6.
like that. 6 o'clock, which unfortunately doesn't give me an awful lot of time to watch between finishing work and starting the show. But there's two Routemaster videos come out today. Mike Anderson's has come out as well, so I'll give that one a watch. And so I will hopefully see you all next week, and possibly one or two more. And I might actually keep an eye on the figures this time next week. Um, so yeah, so take care, guys, and I will see you all next week. And I'll just let Horlick say goodbye as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See you later. Thanks a lot. And yeah, it's good to be back. Well, not really, but for the good reasons. For good reasons.
Yeah.
I could still be
Okay.
sunning it up.
Take care, guys, and we'll
See
see
you
you all
later.
next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.